organization needs people to work together to achieve a set goal or an objective. But because we're different people, there'll surely be one coconut head that makes your job a little harder. I am Nonso and I welcome you to another episode on Catholic Faith Forum. Today I'm here with Chima and together we'll be discussing how to work with difficult people.
Hey,
hi Chima.
How are you, Nonso?
Why are you laughing already?
You said coconut head. Our generation is the coconut head generation now, so
yeah.
It felt funny when he said it, but truly there's always one coconut head, and man, it's necessary to know how to work with them.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
So don't go anywhere. When we come back from the short break, we'll get right into our topic. Stay with us. Welcome back. This is Catholic Faith Forum and I'm Nonso. Today with Chima, we'll be talking about working with difficult people.
A very important life skill that you have to have.
So have you encountered difficult people?
Well, like you said, coconut heads are, like they are the order of the day right now. But, just as there's one coconut that you have to hit
and
like
crack
5 times before it cracks, and then one can just crack easily. There are people like that. So very difficult. In fact, I used to have this, should I say colleague or boss? Mm-hmm. Well, she was higher than me one time, Sha. The problem with her was that she does not listen to even the boss. Are
you serious?
It's not that she doesn't listen to opinions. She only listens to opinions that she was part of forming. So if somebody brings a different opinion that she wasn't there when it was formed, then it's going to be very hard for her.
But that's like a box because you don't even want to listen to other people, even if their opinions
so
will actually make a change.
She just wants to be, always part of decision makings and everything. And if she's not there when those opinions or decisions were taken, it's always going to be very hard to get her on board. So it was literally hell for a lot of us, but for people like us, we knew how to get around.
So what sector have you worked in or do you work in?
Well, basically now content, that's what I do. So yeah.
I also work in content too.
So
digital marketing is actually very crazy.
So we go.
It's actually very crazy in that place. And I know I've met people like your boss, like people who don't want to listen to other people's opinion, and for me, I feel it's very annoying. So in your own words, who can you say is a difficult person? Apart from someone that doesn't listen, so what other qualities can you say?
Somebody who doesn't listen, somebody who has problems with execution. I feel like a hypocrite for saying that because sometimes I have that problem. But if you have somebody who constantly has problems with execution, then that person is a very difficult person to work with. If you have somebody who, how would I put, there's this thing that they like saying, can you work under pressure and everything? I feel people who like to work under pressure are a bit difficult because...
Are you serious? But there's some people I think some people just thrive under pressure.
Yeah, they do.
love when you're on their neck.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, do this. When you're always checking them,
but why do you have to wait until I come and start pressing your neck?
Because that's also...
Why do you like to press my neck?
That's also a difficult person when you are... I don't want to use the word snail, but when you are slow. When you are very slow, you make my job hard for me because I have to wait for you to land before then I take off and everything is difficult like that.
Exactly, so it feels very difficult to work with people like that. But
what about people? I have a boss. I don't know if I meant to say the word. I have a boss. He's so good at throwing people under the bus. Yeah, and so when you have people like that just throw you under the bus or you're asked to do something.
Isimo.
Not even that. It's going to be like, going to explain, oh, okay, this thing was supposed to be done. Oh, we didn't do it. Okay, I think Nonso was meant to be like, hey, how am I supposed to get out of this situation now? And it's always very quick. So how do you handle people who just throw you under the bus like that?
I do my own back sometimes.
How?
In a way, I don't make it known that I'm doing you back. I feel ashamed saying this, but is it true? Because the professional word is how will I say it, is dog eat dog, but I try as much as possible not to, make people feel the same way they make me feel, because I don't want them to, I don't want it to be a very competitive or, an environment where everybody is out for everybody's necks. But when people want to throw me under the bus, I find a way to make sure that the responsibility or the blame or everybody still goes round. Everybody must chop breakfast. You will not stack my food and then I will be choking. I will put more in your plate so that at the end of the day, when whoever is supposed, maybe supervisor or boss or whoever, eventually they will not know who to blame, and they will be like, you know what, you people should just
But no,
do it.
in some cases,
So
might
I
not.
just share the
In
blame.
some cases, might not work like that for you. So for
It
me,
has
what I
always
always
worked for
do,
me.
my boss will tell me something that if you want to avoid being thrown under the bus, it's best to cover your own tracks. I mean, if you're sending out mails there and then the person is going to fall back to say, you didn't do this mail, you didn't do this one, it's always best for you to have those kinds of messages, those kinds of take a screenshot and send to your boss. Screenshot has saved lots of
Receipts.
lives.
Always have receipts.
As in, don't go anywhere. When we come up from the short break, we'll talk more on this topic. Stay with us. Welcome back. This is Catholic Faith Firm. I am Nonso, and we're still discussing how to work with difficult people. So, Chima, we're talking about people who threw you under the bus and just, some don't even throw you under the bus, throw you under the train, like, go there and collect. So what about those who just evade responsibilities? Because I know that when they share work in the office, okay, you guys should work on this pitch, or there's a brief that is new in the system, everyone is meant to work. Some people will legit not do anything. And they'll just hide under the, it's a team, everyone is working together, let's just go.
You feel like that.
You see some people dancing around the documents. They'll just be there. When the boss leaves, they just leave, and then they just allow every other person to do. How do you handle those kinds of people? I want to hear your opinion.
Fortunately for such people, I'm a workaholic. So I tend to, just
do everybody's job.
I tend to
That's
do
a
that.
problem.
It's a problem.
You are even difficult to work with by helping them to do their jobs.
I tend to do it. So that's why I said fortunately for them. So, but one thing I also try to do within an organization is to establish a form of rapport with everybody. First things first. So I'll know if you are difficult or not. If I see that, okay, you are somebody who tends to evade, or you are somebody who tends to do I snore me by throwing people under the bus, I would know all of that beforehand. So if I'm going to work with you on anything, or if we're going to share a space, if you are somebody who does not do work, you dance around projects and everything, I will do my own, I will do a little bit of your own, and then the rapport we have already established, I will now use it to my advantage by getting you to do your own. So it has always worked for me in the 3 places that I have worked with. So that's basically how I handle it.
But you can't keep covering the tracks for these people. So I think the best thing to do when you see that someone is a freeloader.
It also wins me allies, or low key.
No, you win allies, but what about your bosses?
Yeah.
Your bosses don't even know you are doing all the work. Do you know?
Yeah, they don't know.
They think that the work is going round. So, and if you keep doing that, you just keep giving yourself a lot of pressure, a lot of work to do, while the rest are not doing anything.
Everybody will now collect their own package in the reports.
It's best for you to escalate. In my office, we use that word a lot. They say escalate. So when you notice that someone is not doing something that they're supposed to report them, you tell your boss, you just explain them, this person is supposed to be doing this and they're not doing it. But first of all, before you do that, you have a conversation with that person. Let them know that what they're doing is wrong. And you can't keep covering their tracks. Yeah, sometimes you want to do report. It's not your duty. But someone will just relax and then just say, because there's a deadline, let me try to meet.
Exactly. I always try to meet all those deadlines first. Why? Before I now do any escalation or whatever terminology you guys use in your own circle. So, but I make sure that the job is done, and then when it now comes to report, we'll now be like, okay, this person was having so challenges. I will not totally throw you under the bus, but I will let the boss know that Mr. A did not really do anything like that. So they will find a way to handle you.
So was there ever a time you put your foot down to say, you know what, today, not today, no more, I'm not trying it?
I para for one of my guys that time.
Tell me about it.
I clear, I'm not. It's a bit nasty, so let me...
No, that's the point. I'm here. See water here. I want to drink water. Tell me.
We were almost to the point of exchanging, like, serious words, like...
Are you serious to that point?
It was a remote organization, and it was already... in fact, the tension was already there. Like, we literally paused the meeting and started going back and forth. Oh, you wasting people's data for like 1 hour. Imagine when you did... No! This is what they did over Zoom call. People just they look two of us like this. I'm like, for like 1 hour.
And that's your boss?
He's above me. He was above me.
Your senior colleague?
Yeah, I won't say senior colleague. He was in another department and he was heading it.
Oh.
So technically he was above me. It's just that our departments were working together at that particular time. So yeah. So him being Oga now, you get that kind of thing. He has seniority and everything. So we were literally going back and forth. Even the boss was in the meeting that time, was just like, what's going on? So it happens. And I think it's necessary, because if you allow it in your workspace that everybody should just ride over your mother, we match
Yeah,
you.
and I think it's when you talk about gaining allies and being friends with your colleagues, sometimes I think it's best not to overdo it, because when you are overly friends with them, or when you are laughing and shining too much with them, they just feel that they can get away with anything with you with you rather. So when they want to, like in my own case, I had a colleague of mine who was supposed to be doing report like weekly and then monthly. But because me, I'll just be like, oh, you know what? Just start on it, share with me, then I'll complete it if you're not done. I noticed that she kept doing it every time. It was like, before I even say share, before I even say share, she already shared it with me. Then I have to finish the report. And I was doing that report for a long time. Even when at some point she went on leave, she did not teach. First of all, okay, it started like this. She went on leave. I just resumed. So I did not know how to do a report. I was like, okay, this is my first time. Then I had to learn when she was not around. I was like, okay, since I now know how to do it, whenever you start, and then because I'll be the one to deliver it to the client or to my bosses, just share with me. So in case you're not done, I can finish it up. And then every day she would just be sending to me. She would share it. Immediately she just creates a new document. She just share it. No, so I've shared with her.
You
like,
gave her a blank check.
And then she would just do something. Like, oh, I stopped at this place. Can you complain? I say, okay, no wala. And then I noticed that, it now became my duty. I was doing it, and it was not my job to do that. And I just told her, babes, you know what? I can't be doing this. I first told her, I can't be doing this with you. And then she understood. But then what I saw was that she was now doing it late, and then it affected my old job. But did I report her? No, she was my friend, and I feel bad about it. I'm telling you how to work with difficult people.
I also have a similar experience. This one, the young man literally left me to start manning the social media, because I was always having input like, this thing that you did, I think you should have done it this way.
Wow, that's the biggest
And I'm
mistake.
like, okay, let me show you how to do it. Then I just took it a bit, did it, it worked. Before you know it, now they add social media manager to my title. We know my job description. So that kind of thing, yeah. Like, sometimes you need to actually put your foot down and let them know that, you know what, do your job.
Now do mine.
We'll blow ourselves.
Let's go on this short break. When we come back, we'll continue our discussion. Stay with us.
Actually, if someone offends you, you have to first of all, you have to think inside of yourself. You get cooled and you cool down before you meet the person who offended you, and you say your mind, you tell your mind, so the person can actually recollect what you have done and ask for forgiveness.
Yes. You have to be meek, and you yourself, you have to be somebody that is humble, as our Lord Jesus. It is not easy to forgive and to forget, but you can only obtain this by His grace, by the love of Christ. When you focus on Christ, how He has suffered for us, and if you have already obtained God, there is no way that you will not, overcome with such thing, especially those who offended you. So we need to be humble and follow our divine master. That is when you have attained God.
Welcome back. This is still Catholic Faith Forum, and we're discussing working with difficult people. So Chima, finally, what are some healthy ways that you can work with a difficult person?
Number one, the first things first is establish a good rapport with everybody, like I said. Like, it not only wins you allies, it makes it difficult for people to want to even throw you under the bus, except the person is a full-blown witch.
Hey, Chima, you've not seen those that will say hello to you. Hi, what's up, gist? Even send you Instagram gist.
Those ones are just, they are not witches and wizards. That's the only definition for such people. But establishing a good rapport will help you, first of all, get a general feel of your organization, know who is who to avoid when it comes to jobs, and who to, partner with to be very efficient. That's the first and foremost thing for me. The second thing is, at the very least, try as much as possible to do your own job, so that if there is any need for who didn't do this, who did this, who didn't do this, your name will not come up. it's going to help you build, trust among your colleagues and your supervisors or whoever. So try as much as possible to do your own and let others do their own. Another thing is, if you notice that there are people who are defaulting, maybe take it up once, twice, and then try again to, speak with them and, give them some sort of guiding hand if you have the capacity.
Exactly.
If you have the capacity, give them some sort of guiding hand so that to make it easy. And then ginger them while you are giving them that guiding hand so that to not be like you are literally doing like that. My mistake, before you know it, I became social media manager where they no send me.
Onyoma CY,
my dear. So those are the 3 tips I feel. I think that's the best and easiest way. And another thing that works for me is make everybody laugh. It's very easy.
No, mine is not just making everybody laugh. Yes, it's good to do that. But I know that one thing about working with people is that always separate your work life from any other thing called friendship or personal life. So the moment you start mixing the two together, you've missed it already.
Yep.
Because they're not going to respect you as a colleague or as someone they work with. They will just see Chima, my friend, or Nonso, my friend, and I can get away with anything. That's what they will see. So if you're able to separate that, if you separate those 2 aspects of your life from those people, I think you get that respect, or I know rather that you get that respect from them. So always separate your work life and your personal relationship with that person. 1. Number 2, cover your tracks. Always cover your tracks, Chima. If that person is telling you social media, if you need to tell your boss that, oh, okay, I just gave this person an input to do this today and all that, it's not a me boy you're doing. You're not doing. You're just letting them know so that in case they want to start putting that, adding it to your JD that, oh, Chima like, is social media. They want that, oh no, I only gave an input based on my opinion or whatever I thought was best for the company. So always cover your tracks. If you need to send a mail, if your client has my own, they'll say if your client calls you, send a mail. So that everyone knows that, oh, client called me and said so and so. So it's not just you that has that information. Everyone is aware. So just let everyone be aware of what they're supposed to do. Let everyone be aware of what's going on in your team.
Over-communicate, basically.
Chima.
Over-communicate.
Over-communicate. Tell everybody what they need to know, and then always separate your work from your personal relationship with this person. Chima, how do you feel today?
Well, I feel like there are some...
No, you don't give me that tone and say, yeah.
Well, I feel like there are some coconut heads that will still not listen and will still decide to be difficult. But if you are watching this show, please change your ways and stop making life hard for your colleagues, please.
I didn't even talk about people that are very rude.
No,
people that are rude.
You give them back.
No.
Life is not hard.
I think if you work with a rude person, it's best to try to understand the person, to know.
You cannot understand such
rude
people.
Person
Also. It's follow come. You have to return them to go to reset.
No. I think you have to understand the person, to talk to the person. One thing about people that are rude is the moment they are rude to you, they expect you to be rude to them back. But when you reply them in very cool, we are Christians. What would Jesus do? Would Jesus come and stab them if they?
Jesus flogged people at the synagogue.
No, he flogged them because they did something wrong.
Sometimes
so if you are rude to me, and I'll just talk to you normally or nicely. Depends on and again, it depends on your mood, Sha. Sometimes we are humans and then we just want to retaliate. But so if you think about retaliating, please rethink it.
No, retaliation is never a good. It's never a good look on anybody.
Just speak nicely to the person, then you say that the person will now come to their senses and say, oh, there's even no need to be actually.
That's where sarcasm sometimes comes to.
Sarcasm is so good. Thank you so much, Chima, for this.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much for sticking with us till the end of the show. Don't forget that you can support us by sponsoring the show. If you want us to keep putting our content there, just simply reach out to us on the phone number shown on your screen below, or you can reach out to us via email at opmediang@gmail.com. Don't go anywhere. We're meeting with the Know Your Faith team. Stay with us.
Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Know Your Faith series. I am Collins, and today on this episode we'll be talking about how to pursue spiritual growth actively. Now, the key word here is actively. Yes, as Christians and as Catholics, we want to try as much as possible to continue to grow spiritually. But how exactly do we do this actively? Now, it's one thing for us to, go to church every Sunday or leave it, or trying to make sure that, because they said let's go to church, we keep it as that, having to keep God as an afterthought or something you do just on Sundays. But for us to actually make heaven, we have to try as much as possible to pursue this spiritual growth. And on today's episode, I'll be sharing with you tips on how to do this. So the first is to truly participate in the holy sacrifice at Mass. I think sometimes because we've gotten so used to, every Mass there's the celebration of the Holy Eucharist, we tend to overlook the significance of this sacrament. So it's very, very important for us to actually actively participate and not just be there physically. 2, we need to take advantage of confession. Yes, the sacrament of reconciliation is very, very key, as I've said over and over again. I think it really helps you when you have like let's say, standard time or period of time that you'd love to go for confessions, whether it's every month, every 2 weeks. It really helps you to, keep up with that spiritual growth. 3rd is to learn to love our Blessed Mother. Now we know this, and we've seen even in the Gospel that we meet Jesus through the Blessed Mother. We pray through her, even in the Rosary. We know, for those of you who have personal experiences like I do anyway, the power of the Rosary and other prayers through the Blessed Mother Mary. So another point is to develop a life of prayer. On the previous episode of KYF, we talked about how to develop a very strong prayerful life. We suggested having a prayer body, constantly reading the scriptures, and all sort of tips. You can go back to our previous episodes to watch that. Another point is to encounter Christ in the scriptures. I think it really helps a lot when you actually take time to meditate on the Bibles. I mean, even if you attend Mass every day, it's actually important that you try to meditate on the actual words of the scriptures and the message for the day. And finally, you need to improve your relationship with others. Now, it's key that you have, it's very important that we have a relationship with God. But it doesn't make sense when you don't translate that to your next door neighbor, to the stranger you meet in the bus, in the train, wherever it is. It's very, very important that as much as we can, we try as much as possible to be kind to others, whether or not they deserve it. And finally, start small. I think I've said this a lot, that it's not just about setting, you set big tasks and then you're able to follow up on it. So it's very, very important that you start small and keep up, and from there you continue to grow and grow. So that's it for today, guys. You can share with us other tips that you have on how to improve your spiritual growth. And please continue to like and subscribe to our channel at Dominican Media Presents on YouTube. And until I come your way next time, be bold and be Catholic.
Welcome back. This is still Katife from. Thank you so much for that Know Your Faith team. So today our saint for the week is Saint Cajetan, and he's a patron saint for the unemployed. And he knew something of poverty and pestilence. He was the son of a nobleman, worked for a pope, became a priest, was a conduit of miraculous healings, founded a bank, and he was a friend to the poor. Saint Cajetan was born on October 1st, 1487 in Italy. He was the youngest of 3 sons born to Gaspar, Count of Thiene, and Maria Porto, a devout woman who consecrated Cajetan to the Blessed Virgin Mary at a young age and saw to it that he received a religious education and upbringing. His father died when he was just 2 years old. In his 20s, Cajetan received degrees in both civil and canon law from the University of Padua, and shortly thereafter moved to Rome, where he worked in the court of Pope Julian II and assisted at the Fifth Lateran Council, and was ordained in 1516 at the age of 36. Soon after he became a priest, Cajetan and a small group of like-minded priests founded the Congregation of Clerics Regular, a community of priests seeking to live like the apostles. Like their contemporary Martin Luther, Cajetan and his companions were seeking to reform the church, and especially the clergy. But unlike Luther and his followers, they believed this reformation could take place from within the church itself. So they didn't need to break away from the church. The Congregation of Clerics Regular became known as the Theatines after the title of one of the co-founder, Giovanni Pietro Carafa, Bishop of Chieti, who later became Pope Paul IV. The order took their vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience seriously. St. Cajetan asked that the order leave poverty so strictly that they not even beg for alms, but that they rely totally on the providence of whatever God chooses to send to sustain themselves. Cajetan and his others sought to save souls primarily through living moral lives, sacred studies, preaching, and tending to the sick and the poor. He was particularly severe with himself, always wearing a hair shirt and partaking in prayers and devotion late at night and early in the morning with just a short rest on a bed of straw in between. He was also known to have visions of Mary, in particular one on Christmas Eve. Cajetan had a vision of the Blessed Virgin Mary carrying the Christ child and placing him on his arms. Cajetan was also known for some miraculous cures in his lifetime, including the curing of the foot of a priest of his order that had been scheduled to be amputated. The Theatine order became known as strong Catholic reformers even before the Protestant Reformation had fully taken hold. Thank you so much for this. Thank you for sticking with us. You can get this episode and other episodes on our YouTube channel at Dominican Media Presents. Don't forget that you should like, subscribe, and share to your friends. Also reach out to us across our social media platforms at CFF on TV. Don't forget to also join our Tuesday chat room by 7 p.m. on Tuesdays with the hashtag CFF chat room. Our handle at CFF on TV. Till we come your way next time, keep being saints in jeans and shirts. Bye.